Today, for the first episode of the Historical Cakes, I will be making a Victoria sponge cake. Now, this is for a few reasons. One, strawberries were on sale for $2 at Woodman's, so my dad bought a lot of them. And two, I can finally celebrate getting my British passport renewed. So let's make this classic British dessert, shall we? Let's go! The Victoria sponge cake is one of the most iconic cakes in England, due to its association and popularization from Queen Victoria. Sandwich cakes had become a very popular mid-afternoon sweet treat, a tradition started by upper British class people during the 1800s. Victoria herself was known to eat many sponge and sandwich cakes. However, the most common at dinner parties were the plain sponge cake. The cake was later named the Victoria sponge cake after King Albert's death. The cake later appeared with the name in papers during the 1870s. The first time the sponge cake was seen in English print was during the 15th century in the book The English Housewife. The cake got its name for its spongy, crumb texture and lack of yeast used in the recipe. The original recipe only used flour, sugar, eggs, coriander, and anise seeds. This cake had no frosting, as the first date of frosting was in about 1655, and there were no published recipes for it until 1769. During the 1800s, the cake was commonly served with cream and either strawberry or raspberry jam. White cream was often used as a way to show one's higher status, as the person was able to afford frosting. Frosting already wasn't that commonly used. However, the ingredients that went into it, like confectioner sugar, was very hard to come by for most. Buttercream was not yet invented. However, now the frosting has become just as common as the cream filling in these cakes. For the English, jam became a staple in their diet during this time. The jammy spread, dating back to the 4th century CE, as fruits and honey were crushed and preserved in jars. Most people made their own using sugarless preservation methods. Only sugary sweet jams were available to those of higher status. Jam became more widely spread during the 1800s because of the Atlantic slave trade, allowing for more sugarcane farms to be farmed and operated. Jam was often added onto breads, toasts, and cakes to enhance the sweet flavor, and also add a few extra calories for those working in Victorian times. Nowadays, the basic Victoria sponges are made with self-rising flour, butter, sugar, eggs, and vanilla essence, or extract if you're American. Other recipes might call for cream, however, the recipe I got was directly from the British Royal website. The frosting can either be buttercream or just cream, and oftentimes people use raspberry or strawberry jam to get the iconic red, yellow, and white colors of the cake. And here you have a Victoria's sponge cake. Is it a little uneven and not very aesthetic? Unfortunately, yes, but who cares about aesthetic when it's time to taste? Here is the slice. That's actually pretty good. I was a bit worried about the jam because it was made in such a short time, but overall that's really good. The buttercream is very buttery. I don't know if it's supposed to be that buttery. The directions were not specific enough. It kind of just said a third of a vanilla bean. And I did not have a third of a vanilla bean. I had vanilla extract, so I kind of had to estimate that, but the cake is nice and light with a slight crispy edge. The powdered sugar adds a nice little garnish and also a nice bit of extra flavor. Overall, I would say this is a good way to start off the series, and a good way to start off my officialness of being a British citizen. So, let's see what cakes I can make next.